Okay, good morning jazz guitar fans and fellow forum members. I am on my way to Gardner and Hallgate to pick up my winnings from last week's auction. I've got to get a 1965 Guild Starfire 4 and I'm going to get Zematis's workbench, his side bending irons and the concept art for the Take 5 album record, which will go nicely on the wall, hopefully, if it's not too discoloured and ugly looking. I didn't actually get to see it in person. Anyway, onwards and upwards, on to Bath, or thereabouts. Right, I'm on the M4. I've got about 40 miles to go. This road is one of the main motorways off the M25, which takes you basically from London to the West Country. So if I wanted to go from London to Cornwall, or if I wanted to go to Wales, you would start out on the M4. And this is some of the surrounding countryside. I'm assuming this is part of a larger estate. I don't know what the name of the estate is, but it's very common that you see these in the English countryside, these large walled estates. That wall's probably been there for hundreds of years. I'm going in the right direction. Look at that place. Yeah, some really, and then opposite you've got some, what I would say is 1970s kind of prefab. Sorry if I'm going all over the place here. Again, it has that very yellow stone to it, which is not something that we see back in the east of England. And when I say east and west of England, I'm talking a drive of an hour and a half. So don't think this is the difference between New York and where's the place? The Seattle. You know, this is not. This is just the difference between an hour and a half. So we've been through the village now, and we're going to be heading into the estate, the more modern estate that you saw in the last video, so that we get to the auction house and pick up the goodies. 3 of the lots that I've purchased I've not actually seen. One is the workbench, Zematis's workbench, his bending irons, and the concept artwork for the Take 5 record. So we'll see what condition these things are in. I don't really care about the Zematis stuff. That's just stuff that I want to put in my workshop so it carries on, hopefully blessing another English guitar company. We'll see if it has any, if it rubs off. Right, this is the Zematis workbench. This is the first time I'm seeing it. It's clearly in used condition. I just spoke to Luke and he has told me that the who's who of British rock aristocracy have had their guitars on this bench. Keith Richards, Ronnie Woods, George Harrison, Eric Clapton, Jimi Hendrix have all had Zematis guitars which were part made on this bench. Right, I've strapped the workbench in and just going to clear a little space here for the guild. That's the guild. Okay, I've just arrived back at the workshop and we're walking into a lovely cleaned room from yesterday, which is nice, and I'm just going to get the workbench out the back of the van and set it up right about here. Good afternoon everyone, jazz guitar fans, fellow forum members, and Tony Zematis aficionados and collectors. This is Tony Zematis' workbench. This workbench was at the centre of his workshop at his Chatham House studio. According to the listing, this is the workbench that sat in the center of the workshop and was used in the process of making every guitar in Tony's Chatham-based workshop. See accompanying images showing the workbench. Showing the workbench in situ at the workshop. So that means Jimi Hendrix's guitar, Ronnie Wood's, Keith Richards, Eric Clapton, George Harrison, their guitars have been on this bench. Now that is crazy. This is such a piece of British history. I'm really over the moon. I don't exactly know what I'm going to do with it. I'm certainly not going to use it. It's going to stay here and it's going to inspire me to make a successful British guitar business. A bundle of bits here. De-almond. Mic fixation. I don't know what that means. Yeah, it'll be interesting to go through this, cut the ties and see what's in there. I don't think there's anything there that's super interesting. This really is the piece. That white top actually comes with it as well, but I think it just goes underneath as a shelf perhaps. And then this was the blanket that would go over the top of the bench when the guitars were on it. That's incredible. Anyway, happy days.